you ever wondered why, as you get older, you start to really notice the little things? Carlene and I have been talking about this a lot lately. The little things throughout the day, the little things in marriage, the little things in parenting, with friends, and everything in between. We've started to think about them so much more, especially as we're getting older. And I have my suspicions of why this happens, and I want to share them with you today. But I find it fascinating why this is part of our human experience. And also really enlightening to see how we just change as people throughout life. I'll start with the more obvious one. So, nature. Going out in nature, that's something that a lot of us do when we just need a moment. We just need to unwind. And what I've noticed about being in nature is the tiniest things, like birds chirping, or a tree swaying. It really just allows me to see how little I am in this world, how little my problems might be. They seem grand in my mind because of the way that I think of them, and our minds tend to do that. They inflate situations that we have, but it really helps me see that I'm such a small piece of the pie. And what's interesting about this is I always end up appreciating the good and the bad things in my life. Seeing how it all just makes up my human experience, my life. Because we can't really appreciate good without the bad, right? And I also just find it so important that as we get older, we have these opportunities to reset, because we get so wrapped up in our life and our daily struggles and all the things. And, I feel like this is the reason why a lot of people end up being like, yeah, life is so short. As you get older, the years start to go faster, but I think it's just we get so wrapped up in the minutia and we forget to appreciate the little things that really help us ground and remember our purpose, our reason to be here. It's just one of the reasons why I feel like the little things matter, is because you begin to stop and allow yourself to change your perspective. I also find this true with parenting. I've shared a little bit about my experience as a kid growing up and how in a lot of ways I really wanted to be different in the way that I showed up as a parent. I'd always imagine these big moments as a parent. When they were born, when they would first start walking, when they get married. And obviously in a lot of ways, those things are important. But what I'm finding right now, what is so much more special and meaningful, is the moments when Mila just randomly says, "I love you, Daddy." Or when my son wraps his arm around me when I'm laying with him to go to bed and he'll kiss me. And when Legend just has his infectious laughs. It's just those little things that mean so much more. It's so interesting because I feel like it's a paradox. I feel like we're wired to imagine and appreciate those big things and look towards those big things, but at the end of the day, at the end of life, and especially as I feel like as I've gotten older, it's the little things that really start to make meaning in life. And I almost feel like I wish there was a way to bypass all the growing that needs to happen to begin to appreciate those things, because it's like, man, if I would just always appreciate the little things, and I would feel more at ease, or I would have a more peaceful life, or I wouldn't feel the strain of getting wrapped up in other things, getting wrapped up in working, or getting wrapped up in my own internal struggles. I would just see the little things in life. Now, marriage, intimate relationships, they're so beautifully complex. I feel like it almost never stays the same. You're changing, your partner's changing, and it's the little things that really hold you together. You know, like a hug when you need it the most, or a thoughtful gesture, getting their favorite snack, or just little reassurances throughout the day that you're there for them. It becomes less about the big moments. I'll say, I don't every day think about our wedding, me and Carlene's wedding. What I do think about is how every day, if she wakes up before me, she makes me coffee. Or if she goes to Dunkin' before I wake up, she gets me coffee. Or when she always prepares our meal and always thinks about me before even serving herself sometimes. How she always makes sure that we always have what we need as a family in the house. It's crazy. I almost find it weird because when I was a kid growing up and imagining what a beautiful marriage would look like, I would always picture these grand moments, these romantic, amazing getaways or experiences, or those experiences like you would see in a movie. And even when I would have those experiences that I might see in a movie, didn't mean as much as those little things that don't seem to matter, but really are the glue to everything. Friendships, I see it in that too. I feel like as of recently, I have been okay being a loner. I get along with a lot of people. I like to be the life of the crowd, the life of the party, but I don't really have really deep and close friendships. And I've always been okay with that. I get wrapped up in my own world. I like to be alone. I like to focus on the things that I want to do, things I want to create, or when I want to work, or when I want my own alone time. And I get wrapped up in my own world. And I've realized that it's only been recently that I stopped focusing so much on myself and what I want to accomplish. And, you know, I've slowed down a lot after buying this house, that people matter. You know, I have a friend that I didn't really understand how important he actually was to me. I was telling Carlene, I was like, you know, I played baseball with this guy. He was in my wedding. And I forgot about all those things. And when I bumped into him again, I was like, you really are important. And it's those little things that we've experienced together along the way that are such a big deal, that means so much more. I look at him and I want to see the best for him. I want the best for his life. And it's almost like this camaraderie of like, hey, we're doing this life together. Like, we're trying to figure everything out. We're trying to be good fathers, good husbands. And I don't know, I feel like that is so important. Those little things in friendships and those little experiences, those little touches, little touch and goes, and they matter so much. And I think we can get lost in, again, our own world, getting lost in all the things that we want to accomplish in life, things that we want to do in life, or even just being okay being alone. And there's good in that, especially for us introverts and us introvert extroverts, which is what I am. It's good to have those alone moments, but it's also good to just experience people. There's so much that you can learn from them, so much that you can learn just being around them. Not necessarily a skill or something, but just learning from their life, learning from their experience, learning from being around them, experiencing them. There's something that happens inside. And I feel like I'm really starting to appreciate that as I'm getting older. I just think, as you start to go about life, and as you get older, your kids get older, you get older, your marriage gets older, everything. Your parents get older. You just start to see things differently, and it's a beautiful thing. I think it's just part of the human experience, just growing and experiencing life and things just happening, and you're trying to figure out what it all means, what the whole grand scheme of it all means. And those little things throughout our life really do shape us, shape the way that we think. And then you also realize that they mean so much. It's not always those big moments in life that matter as much as those little intricate moments that you sometimes forget. And all that to say is that I just hope that you alongside of me, and I don't forget that these little moments matter, these little things matter, and that we should put a higher value in those things and not get wrapped up in things that seem so huge in our mind that aren't that big of a deal, but just appreciating life for what it is and enjoying the ride and just allowing yourself to go through it. So I just want to come on here, tell you guys, appreciate the little things, why they matter, especially as you get older. And hopefully this video just helps you this week change your perspective a little bit. So we love you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.